Welcome back to Dead Pine Archives. My name is Dan, and I'm here with Kelly and Neil.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Neil, you have a story?
Yes.
Suspense.
Yes, I do. In today's story takes us to Belle Isle.
Ooh, I love Belle Isle.
I haven't been forever, but I do as well.
Belle Isle is super awesome, and it is so nice that it's gotten like cleaned up and that it's like a place to go now, more so than it was like 10 years ago. But it does actually make it harder for me to go there.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
I've gone once or twice where the line to get in, because they're at capacity, it's insane.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to go, super cool. Awesome, free aquarium. They do take donations, which is always really nice. But it's a beautiful, beautiful aquarium. And if I remember correctly, it is the oldest aquarium in America.
I believe that's true. I believe I heard that as well.
Which is insane.
For anyone who is not familiar with Belle Isle, it is a 982-acre park/island in the Detroit River. So a lot of people go there for the day to hang out by the water, have a picnic.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of like little like things to do. An aquarium. They have the observatory.
Mm-hmm.
A really, really cool fountain. Not gonna lie, it's really cool to look at. It's a sick fountain. Don't touch the water, but it's a sick fountain.
There are paths to walk. There are places where you can do cookouts. You can see like the old bones of the fucking zoo.
Yeah. It did house a zoo at one point.
Yeah, probably shouldn't anymore though. It's probably way too small for anything.
That's fair. So this place has been around in a destination for tourists, both from the city and outside, for a long time. And one of its most persistent legends has nothing to do with the giant slide that is sure to cause a spinal fracture.
Or the magical little alligator that apparently was there.
Right. Yeah. No, the legend we're going to talk about today is that of the snake goddess of Belle Isle.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pretty lady.
So when I was researching this, pretty lady.
Thank God Zach's not here. All we would hear every 3 seconds is like, there's a snake. I'm not fucking talking about.
Yeah, Zachary specifically was like,
specifically
I'm not coming.
for Zachary.
Oh.
And as we've said previously, please mail all of your loose ripped bags full of snakes to Zachary Raymond.
Yes.
R-A-Y.
So let's set the scene. Belle Isle isn't just any park. Long before city buses and picnics, this island was known by Indigenous peoples, especially the Ottawa and Chippewa, and was even named Rattlesnake Island for the water snakes that once filled its shores. And side note, it has been confirmed that there was never any rattlesnakes.
Okay, I was just going to ask.
Like Michigan, as we've talked in previous episodes,
which
does
freaked
have
me out.
its own rattlesnake.
Didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Right. So no, it was just water snakes around the island, which ties into our story today. But before it was called Rattlesnake Island, it was known by yet another name, which is Wanabeezy, which means the island of swans.
Nice.
I like how it went from swans to snakes.
Snakes. Yeah.
Everything has a long neck
Rattlesnakes.
and everything wants you dead.
That's fair.
It's hissing and it wants me dead.
And it's aggressive.
So the story, the legend, right? The legend behind today's episode comes from Indigenous cultures. So I tried to do my best care with finding the most accurate version of the story or of the legend. But keep that in mind because I researched on the internet. So
That's every story we do, though, honestly.
Right.
Well, sure. If we stumble, we're doing our best.
Right. So according to the legend, an Ottawa chief known as Sleeping Bear had a problem. His daughter was so beautiful that he couldn't keep eager young men away from her.
Typical.
Classic.
Classic eager young men. So, worried for her safety, the chief came up with a desperate plan. Under cover of night, he placed her in a canoe, wrapped her in a blanket so no one could see her, and quietly sent her up the Detroit River, hoping to carry her far away from danger.
Right,
Okay.
so that she'd be alone in the
I was
wilderness
to say, no one's gonna think she's
as a
beautiful
teenager.
somewhere else.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
She'll still be beautiful no matter where she goes.
not if a bear mauls her.
All right. No one said.
She's on her own in a canoe.
I'm just saying.
She's a child.
I understand it's a desperate plan, but she's pretty no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think this... Continue.
Well, what he didn't take into account is that God is always watching.
Yeah.
So jot that down.
So
Jot that down. Through God, everything's possible.
No, so I obviously the spirits of these indigenous tribes were watching, and
they thought she was pretty.
the spirit who ruled over the wind took notice of the girl.
Oh my gosh, she's supposed to be hiding.
Well, they were entranced. So
Of course they were.
the
Gotta love that gods are always entranced with random chicks.
right. So this god of the wind, huffing and puffing, they blew away the cover of the boat so they could fully gaze upon her beauty.
Gross.
But
I assume this girl is probably like 12,
you know
if
what?
not 8 at the time.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
It's
an
just what-
easy guess.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
She's a child.
But the spirit blew so hard that the ties snapped and the boat floated away. In one version. So in one version,
Okay.
he just hid her in the canoe at night and tied it to the dock. And another, he was trying to send her like upriver to like some
Okay.
safer area.
I was like, so she got there faster.
Right. So in the version where she's tied to the dock, the ties broke. In the version where she was sent upriver, the spirits blowing the covers off actually turned the canoe around and sent it downriver.
Oh, okay. All right.
Either way, it carries us to the next part of the story.
Sure.
Carries her too. All right.
So downriver, a keeper of the water gates in another tribe caught sight of her in the canoe and pulled her boat to shore.
Well, that's the opposite of what that chief wanted.
He took her to his wigwam so he
Yeah.
could claim her as his own.
Yep. And I
This is what
bet he
I'm
was
saying.
a weird
She
old
would
man.
have been beautiful no matter what. Why don't you? Why?
Why don't you just stab a man about it?
Right. I mean, which
Just saying.
we're getting there. Because
Good.
realizing what they'd done, the wind spirit flew into a rage. It struck the man down,
Good.
which is like the nicest version in any telling of this story of like what they did. It's like the wind spirit beat the man to death.
The wind spirit found a way to channel the wind into such a tunnel that it ripped his skin clear off, and he was but a skeleton.
Listen, again, I'm under
Willow
the idea that this is a child and this is probably a grown man. It's just usually what happens. So even though it's weird that the wind god also thinks she's pretty, but like, okay, at least you can do this. All right.
Right. So at least the wind spirit has some like, awareness.
Or he's just really possessive, which is great.
Right. So it struck the man down and returned the girl safely to her father, but begged that he not keep her from sight. So, because the wind spirit's like, hey, here's your daughter back. Sorry, I fucked up. But please don't hide her. She's so pretty, guy. Please.
I mean, all right. Honestly, as gods go, he gave her back to her parent. Like, usually they just kind of whisk them away and is like, you're mine now.
Right.
So, and his whole thing, he wasn't even like, oh, she has to get married to me or she has to be mine. He's just kind of like, I just want to look at her a little bit.
Just let me look at her. I just
Let
like,
me look.
I'll pay the subscription fee, bro.
Oh my God.
So, and Chief Sleeping Bear was like, okay, well, sure, thanks for bringing her back, but like this can never happen again because look, my worst fear is confirmed. She was out of my, she was out of my sight, and immediately some guy was like, this is mine now. right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if he sends her in a different canoe.
So what Chief Sleeping Bear did was basically abandon his daughter on a remote island in the Detroit River,
Again,
where
leaving
she
her
could run
alone.
free.
Yeah.
He called upon the Great Spirit to guard her by surrounding the island with snakes so no one could enter.
Okay.
The snakes were charmed by her and began to worship her as a goddess.
Fun.
Kind of love that.
The Wind Spirit saw this and made her immortal so she could rule over the island for eternity.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So far, best situation I think that could happen.
Also giving her the ability to transform into a white doe to escape danger.
Okay.
Why couldn't she just turn into a snake? I don't
You
know.
know, 'cause
But
she'd
you know
get
what? It's
lost.
fine. It's fine. I'll let
From
that
that
go.
moment on, she was known as the snake goddess of Belle Isle.
Who looks like a deer. Got it.
Which is like, all right, so this, and granted, like these old legends, a lot of them, once you get, you don't even have to go that far back, but it's very much, nobody asked her what she wanted.
Oh, no, of
Yeah.
course.
Sure.
I will say, pleasantly surprised by this wind god. He was like, oh, she pretty? I want to see her. Oh, I've hooked up. Okay, well, I save her now. And also, it's fine. I take care of you. But not in a weird way.
Yeah. I just like, it's,
Again, yeah, ask
The
her
idea-
opinion of like, oh, my daughter's too pretty. So she has to go spend the rest of her life by herself
In
with
isolation.
a bunch of snakes.
yeah.
Zachary's hell.
Zachary's out. Zachary's never going to Belle Isle. The man who was struck down, like some versions of the story say he was beat to death. Other versions of the story say he lived and became an oracle, who could converse with the gods. And
Okay.
yeah, so there's like there's a
I
lot
don't
of
want you sniffing around.
little
Little
girl. Yeah, and so there's nothing good about what he did on the surface, which is like, you're coming home with me. You're going. But at the same time, it's like, of course, that's what happened.
Well,
We're
and also
talking-
he could have just been like, "You're beautiful, and I want you to be my wife." And she was like, "I don't know what to do because no one's asked my opinion." And
Well,
he could have,
and-
like it could have been harmless.
Well, and
These stories
that's-
usually never are, but it could be.
Right.
Not justifying just like stealing a girl or anything, but you know, in this legend and in this land of gods and monsters where like these spirits are very much real and whatnot, he could have just genuinely like saw this beautiful girl roll up on a boat and be like, how fortuitous, a wife for me.
The gods gave me a
the gods
beautiful
gave,
gift.
yeah, right.
So
right.
he could have. I think the problem is that I know too much. I know too much Greek mythology,
100%.
and so maybe I can hope and dream that other mythologies are not as crude.
But they probably
They probably are. They probably are. But I don't know the proof of that one. So Zeus is not in this. Everyone lock up your, what is it? Your daughters, lock up your wives, whatever it is.
and hide your husbands.
Yeah, and hide your husbands. Honestly.
So, what does the snake goddess look like today? If the stories are true, she appears in at least two forms. One is a white doe, calm yet watchful, that disappears into the woods when approached. So there have been sightings of that on Belle Isle.
Have they really?
They have.
Are there deer on Belle Isle? Like
I would
in general?
assume
Yeah, they have a wooded area, so I'm
Yeah, but like,
there's deer all around here.
no, I know, but it is an island and it gets cold. So I feel like they wouldn't have a lot to survive like off the island itself. It is a big like piece of land, but it's not like a huge island or anything. You know what I mean? It's not Mackinac or Kelly's Island or anything like that. It's small
Yeah.
when you think of it like that way. And, when you're on the water like that, it gets really cold. So I assume the vegetation is like,
Well,
you know?
Jen's seen stuff that like there's been deer living on
yeah.
the little median of land on the highway,
yeah, but like they can get to other places. And the only
Fair.
way they can get off Belle Isle is by the bridge, unless if they're swimming or walking on the ice. But
I
even
mean-
around that, there's not like wooded areas in that part of Detroit.
true, but like the bridge is I mean, it's not like an island. It's not like Kelly's Island or something where the only way is by boat or like swimming. They're crepuscular. They scoot around after dark and they can take the bridge.
I mean, they can. I feel like they usually don't take a one-way path. You know what I mean?
That's fair. No, I get that. But yeah, so there have been sightings of this white doe. And then can either of you guess what the second form she takes is?
A sexy lady.
Kinda.
Okay, a snake in a dress.
I was gonna say like a half snake woman, like a weird mermaid snake chick.
That's
a snake
actually
in a dress, which is
Snake in a dress.
which is just a
Wait,
tube.
a tube top.
Wait, Kelly. You've done it. You've put the math together. She was a white doe, and she's a chick in a dress. So what color would that dress be?
Lady in white.
There it is. Bingo. A lady in flowing white, sometimes seen at dusk or night near the wooded paths or bridges.
Interesting.
Not a snake in sight.
Right. So,
I mean, we don't know. You get close enough, something might bite you.
what number of Lady in White story is this? Are we on like 5 out of? Because this is episode what, 21 now?
We've had
Wow.
at least the colors have changed, but we've had like at least 7 women in dresses.
Yeah, there was also like 1 or 2 like little girls in white dresses.
I'm just saying, you never hear about a ghost in a just rockin' pantsuit.
Rockin'
Snake in a tube.
Okay, because here's the thing.
snake and shoulder pads.
If I run into someone in a pantsuit and they're a ghost, I know they mean ghost law business. Like I can't fuck with
Dude,
that.
that's great. I would rather encounter a confident woman ghost doing ghost law business than like number 876 like pilgrim girl.
Okay, but Kelly,
What?
women look off into distance and they be pretty and the hair flow. There's nothing else to be a woman
What are you
about. Like
doing
that's
right
it.
now? Oh, okay. Like
All
how
I'm
every
thinking-
single legend is like of a dead woman is just like, yeah, witch. She's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch or she's staring off mournfully because of some baby.
All I'm thinking of right now is Angelica's mom from Rugrats.
Why?
Why?
Why is
Because-
Charlotte here?
Charlotte in the
Don't-
power
she's
suit with Jonathan. Give me.
Angelica's gonna make it in a male-dominated world. She has to eat, breathe, and sweat self-esteem.
That is exactly the quote I was
Okay,
looking for. That's
so-
exactly the quote I was looking for. Thank you, Kelly.
Kingfisher 9000! Kingfisher 9000!
I'm pretty sure now every time a woman in white is brought up, we just bring up Angelica's mom in a pantsuit.
Yeah.
Charlotte's here.
Charlotte's here.
She
Jonathan!
revolutionary, that woman. All right.
Yeah.
She scared me.
Drew wasn't strong enough to handle her. I'm gonna say that right now.
No.
I think that was the point.
No, I know. Well, it's not like it wasn't like the DeVilles. It wasn't like Betty's husband Howard.
That's true.
That man
That's
was
true.
scared, and you know he was.
He was. I also, you know what? Great female cast in that show.
Yeah.
A lot of different kind of women.
Susie's mom studied at the Cordon Bleu.
Oh,
Le
yeah.
Cordon Bleu in France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this show.
Listen, okay. Every girl in that show has a great, different, like, personality and drive, and none of them are right and none of them are wrong. Like, it's great.
Yeah, the only one I can think of that didn't was. We're getting too deep into Nickelodeon. We're getting too obscure. I was gonna be like, there's a very important episode where they go to Tommy's fucking family reunion, and there's his cousin Tammy Faye is just him in a wig and with a country accent. It's the same fucking thing.
But you
Which
know
is
what?
like very close
fine.
to when they enter Tommy into
Where they
the
just put him in a
beauty
wig.
pageant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho,
Ghosts and snakes. Here we go. Okay.
and Charlotte.
Precious references.
Damn it.
Bonanza.
God damn it. Banana knife?
Oh, the banana knife.
All right, so people visiting Belle Isle have reported these sightings, a spectral figure just beyond the tree line or a deer standing eerily still before vanishing. Some locals jokingly, others fearfully, say the doe watches you and then keeps watch over the island when you leave. So that's the original story, right? That's the basis for all of this. But there is another urban legend that I found in my research.
Ooh.
And that urban legend and the mechanics of it are, I don't want to say similar because they're not necessarily similar. It's the exact same urban legend as the last episode I researched on Morrow Road.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, that's interesting that they'd throw that mechanic in here because there is
Throwing their car keys? Are you supposed to throw your car keys?
That's the only part that's like not there. It is.
Fun fact: car keys have nothing to do with it.
Also, you don't throw them with that when you put it on top.
There is a
but
specific
baby, no baby.
So, and that's, they say, I'll get to it. I'm just gonna read the the whole excerpt I found because for me, like, I had saw that was like woven in, and it was like, oh, the snake goddess of Belle Isle. If you park on this specific road and then turn off your car and honk 3 times, she'll appear from the woods and beckon you in. Oh, and I was like, oh,
well, if she's hot, I'm gonna have a hard time saying no.
I was like, why is that the same though? Like, why is that the same?
Yeah,
the same thing. And then,
it's because people won't leave pretty girls alone, and they're like, "Okay, come here."
Yeah. So I was like,
end you.
I was like, okay, well, that's an interesting. That doesn't feel like it lines up exactly. So then, as I was like looking for images, I stumbled upon an excerpt from a book from the Walter P. Reuther Library website, and I'm going to read that verbatim.
Okay.
It's called The Ghost of Tanglewood Bridge. Tanglewood Bridge is where they tell you to park your car. So it's another bridge as well. Let me throw that in there. Just like Morrow Road, you park on the bridge.
Interesting. Okay.
Terrifying.
So this is what it says. The following is part of an analysis of a story collected by Dave Sprybrook in 1969 and involves a haunting on Belle Isle. It is a classic, quote, white lady story in which a woman in white haunts a location in search for something lost. Quote, the story of the ghost of Tanglewood Bridge on Belle Isle concerns a young lady who was in an accident on or around the bridge and was thrown through the window of the car and onto the rocks below the bridge in the woods.
Ooh.
The ghost involved, however, is not the young lady killed in the accident, but rather her mother, who comes to the bridge each night to search for her daughter. The lady always seems to come back around midnight each night, dressed completely in white. The mother was coming back to look for her daughter who had been killed. The ghost is always seen on the bridge or in the woods surrounding the bridge. The ghost sometimes comes right up to the car to look into the car to see if her daughter is in the car and may tap on the window of the car to try and get in.
Ugh.
A white lady of Tanglewood Drive is also known to respond to young drivers who honk 3 times into the night by trying to lure them into the woods. So urban legend has her as the mother of a girl who was murdered on that stretch of road. Other folklore has her as the daughter of Chief Sleeping Bear, placed on the island for her own protection and given the gift of immortality and the ability to change into a white doe. Coincidence? Coincidence?
I mean,
the island is now a state park, which closes long before midnight. Thus, the world may never know.
interesting.
So, this felt like like an M. Night Shyamalan twist for me, because I was done with this script. I was like, okay, I got the story. I think I got a pretty concise version of it. And then it was like, oh, no, these are 2 separate things.
Yeah.
And it's just the oral tradition of storytelling.
Sure.
And how they've melded together over time, and how Morrow Road is like by no means an isolated urban legend.
Yeah.
These are probably everywhere.
I'm sure.
I am sure anywhere in the United States, somebody knows a place where you go at midnight and honk 3 times and somebody comes out of the woods. And it's interesting because I'm very interested in how that specifically started and spread, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting that it's always like, oh, it's a mother looking for their lost child or something. Like that comes up a lot. And they're like, but also she'll kill you.
Right.
Like, I understand if they're like, oh, and she's looking for her child. So if you're young, like, she'll take you because she thinks you're like, you know, like there's some like ways to twist it into her being like scary and, you know, evil-ish. But the majority of them, like, I think the only other one was like, what was it? Like the Ada Witch. Like that one, she got maybe murdered or whatever. So like it makes sense that she'd be like wandering around and being mad. But the Morrow Road and the Tanglewood Road, their mother's looking for their child. So why are they vengeful? Especially when, like, it doesn't seem in both those stories from what we've heard that it's other people's fault that their babies are gone.
Well, I think that just goes into, like, the whole, like, the urban legend as a whole, because those, when it comes to, like, specifically, like, a female figure looking for, like, a lost baby or something.
Always,
yeah. And it goes along with all of the old legends, and when you're dealing with a legend that surrounds a lady, it's like the trauma is no baby, lost baby, too many baby.
Yeah.
Like it's always something
want
like that.
baby, don't want baby.
So if a woman of lore has lost her child or misplaced it or just somebody stole it or whatever, she's lost the only thing that matters. So they're just like, and then she turned fucking feral, and I don't know, like she,
which,
like,
I mean,
she's vengeful because the only thing a woman needs is a baby.
Which I understand because I get, you know, people loving their children like that. People do that.
I don't practice it. But
yeah. In theory, no. But I do understand it, but it is funny because I just feel like every story of a woman is because either she had too many babies that she did not want, or she didn't have the babies, or she lost a baby.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the only, you know, thing tying these women onto Earth is, you know, a baby. Where men can be literally, they're like, I don't know, you owned a building.
Well, and that's when it comes to like this overlap between Morrow Road and Chief Sleeping Bear's daughter. It's interesting because no mother is mentioned, and this is one of the few things that doesn't tie those together is like a woman looking for her baby, because there was no baby in this story. It was just, hey, I have my daughter. I want to protect her because she's so beautiful. There's never, that's so interesting. There's never, I want to hear an urban legend where a dad is concerned where the kid is. Where's the dad knocking on the window and be like, give me back my daughter?
Also,
where's Liam Neeson's ghost?
I also love that in this story specifically, we have a name for the chief.
Yeah.
We don't have a name for the daughter.
Oh.
We don't have a name for the Morrow Road. We don't have a name for the Ada Witch. We, you know.
We had initials.
We had initials. That's right. But like, I think most stories.
Yeah, because and I mean, just from like a storytelling perspective, right? It's that whole idea, because I did scratch the surface a little bit on like, okay, the lady in white motif, right? Mm-hmm. That's seen in ghost lore, not just in America. That's around the world.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
And the figure, the lady in white figure, is always tied to love, loss, and unfinished business.
Yeah.
But this
I also think that's like the three main things about a ghost.
Right. And you'd think, or is this the root of that, right? Because I believe that our snake serpent goddess of Belle Isle differs from, say, old IC of Morrow Road.
Yeah.
And the rest, because as we've often discussed, these legends blend history, symbolism, and fear. In many indigenous cultures, spirits are tied to land, guardians, teachers, or warnings. The snake goddess could be a protector spirit of the island, or a cautionary tale about beauty, isolation, and the dangers of desire, whereas the motif of the woman in white is a cautionary tale about being a caregiver.
Mm. And it makes sense because, you know, when people talk about ghost inspectors and stuff like that, they tend to be, you know, pale and transparent and glowy. So I understand that a lot of this turns into white, but I think it's very interesting that you always have like this woman who is radiating like a purity of a white dress looking for their baby. And like, I don't know. It's just very interesting.
Oh, I'm sure there
are some
symbolism.
There are some old hags out there you got to watch out for, I guess. But
this is why I continue to find it so interesting. So interesting that in the cinematic classic Casper, I'm just saying, Dr. Harvey's wife shows up. She's not a ghost because she doesn't have any unfinished business, because everybody was so well taken care of and she was so beloved. The fact that they had her show up in this like beautiful flowy red dress when like she's coming in like the form of almost an angel, I always thought that was so interesting, and I love that they did that instead of just being like, I'm your mother in white and I love you. Instead, she was just like, I'm wearing red and you guys did a good job. Also, I'm kind of hot.
Kind of hot.
Yeah. Enters to Burning Up by the Jonas Brothers.
Oh my gosh.
High heels.
I do think it'd be interesting to really deep dive into like the lady in white, trope, and like really figure out why that is, even if it's just people thinking of being like when you pass, and if there is a heaven or hell, that heaven is usually a bright light and being white because of, I'm assuming, the clouds and the sun, like when you think of going up, where when you think of going down, you think of dark and red and lava and stuff. That like is a basis for a lot of things. But it's interesting because I don't know a bunch about different religions and all different cultures, but there's like a lot of weird overlap. Kind of like how every culture has dragons, but dragons have no proof.
Right.
Like, that's weird that everyone was like, what if this tiny little thing was a big little thing and it had wings? Like, that's just weird that every place was like, wait, this is something that happened.
This is something. Yeah. No, that's 100% the synchronicity of the stories we told before, the ease of, stories traveling, right? So these all originated in their respective parts of the world, but we're all telling the same story, which speaks more, I think, to something deeper in humanity, right? Like if everybody's having the same idea in different parts of the world, like that speaks.
Hive mind.
Yeah, maybe.
How weird.
There it is.
It does beg to make you think. Beg to make you think? I don't know if that's a saying, but you...
It does beg to make you think.
Begging you, please use your brain.
Please think.
That goes for everybody. Please use your brain.
Please let me see your daughter. Please think.
Please. I won't even do anything. I just want to look. Creep.
So, with that being said, next time you're on Belle Isle, as the daylight fades and the woods grow quiet, remember, some places don't forget their past. And if you feel eyes on you as you leave the island, don't worry. She's just making sure you go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, if you're there and it's closing time, you will be in line for an hour to get
100%.
off the island.
I'm trying to leave White Doe.
Please.
I'm bumper to bumper right now.
Also, if you happen to look down and see a little snake, don't be scared. He's just a little bodyguard.
Also, send him to Zachary.
He's just wearing a tube that says security on
it. Tube tops for snakes. I think this is our next.
So you mean just socks, but the tip cut off?
They're just gonna slip right out of it.
instead of horizontally, like it just says security vertically down.
Yes. Perfect.
Love it.
Security.
I think this can be our business. We'll just make snake clothes.
Tube tops for snakes.
Two taps for snakes. It says security.
It says security. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, thanks for coming on that adventure with me of a story.
I liked the little bit of a twist of the god not being a complete creep.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was different.
He had some redeeming qualities.
Interesting. Here for it. Well, yeah. All right. Well, and again, we all love Belle Isle. Beautiful place to go. Gotta see the observatory. It's gorgeous.
Thank you for joining us on one of our rare episodes where we know of and have been to the place that we're talking about.
Dude, Belle Isle is sick.
For God's sake.
Leave us a review. That's the best way to support us. You can give us a thumbs up or, 5 stars or whatever you're listening to us on. That's where our episodes come out. So listen to the other ones. Give us a follow on Instagram or TikTok. It's Dead Pine Archives on either. You can also send us an email at info@deadpinearchives.com. And you can just say hi if you want. Or if there's something you want us to go over, tell us to go over it.
Yep.
Listen to our sister show, Midnight Horror Picture Show. Learn about a bunch of indie horror stuff. Come on now. We know you like it. You're here.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Do it. This is natural.
I felt very much like I was going to then go into like the YMCA, and I don't know why. But yeah. Anyways.
Young man.
There's
no need to feel down.
There is no need. But thank you for joining with us, and I hope to
when we hope to hear from you soon.
please send me email. Thank you. Bye.
We'll be taking callers on the next episode. Bye.
Well, thanks for joining.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Hooroo.
But yeah, no, I think about that little alligator that they found because someone like released a pet or whatever.
Dropped
it was like a little dude,
off,
and like people were like, kayaking or on a boat or something. They were like, "There's a full little alligator right there," and you know what? I hope they caught him because if they didn't, he definitely died.
100%.
Cannot survive in that water.
So many. God, it's so weird too because. I don't know, and I know we're getting off topic, and maybe this will just be after the credits, but why do people in Michigan buy alligators as pets?
Because people are silly.
Dude, my uncle, nope, that's worse. He had a monkey. No, I'm pretty sure, like, back before I was born, I'm pretty sure my uncle had an alligator, but I know he had a monkey. People just back then, laws were different. But also, people just fucking do that shit, man. Everybody wants an exotic pet. Listen, I would love nothing more than to have a giant African snail, but I'm not allowed to because they're invasive, crazy. They will mess up the ecosystem, crazy. Also, I don't have it in me to crush their eggs every single fucking time they lay them. Mm-hmm. But, like, people just like having unique ass pets, man.
Listen, which I totally get, but just like bring in a possum.
Yes,
possums are sick.
Sorry, trying not to scream.
Trying,
and they belong here. There are only marsupial. Just like,
dude, they're sick.
I mean, don't just run out and start bringing them all inside and blah blah blah. But if you have the opportunity to house an injured one or whatever, they're cool little guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like.
I mean, how many lions do they find in Detroit?
Well, God, they found the ones that were roaming around, or the one that was roaming around the old Packard plant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You know what? I have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up, but I know at least one of the lions in the Detroit Zoo is like a rescue from the city. I'm pretty sure.
That tracks. No, I thought, especially the alligator thing was so funny because when I was young. I had a cousin who bought an alligator.
Yeah.
And he was, I don't know, probably around 10 years older than I was. So I was like, I don't know, 14. And he was like in his mid-20s.
Coolest guy around.
Living in a house with a couple roommates in East Point. It was like, hey, you want to see my alligator? I was like, what?
I don't know.
And he's got this kiddie pool. Like one of, not the ones you fill up and they like fold up, but like the hard ones.
Yeah.
In a room with a lamp to like keep warm. He's like, yeah, no. I was like, is he gonna get like big? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. And then he's like, have you listened to Godsmack?
Stop. Neil, your cousin.
So there are, and this is actually longer ago than I thought, but there are 4 on record where in 1992, a lioness was a guard animal in a suspected drug house before being rescued by police. In 1993, there was a malnourished one found in an abandoned basement in Detroit, and then also was rescued and brought to the zoo. And then there was 2 more in 1997, and they were cubs, and they were rescued by police and animal welfare groups. They were confiscated from their owners, who bought them as exotic pets. As exotic pets. And then they were later sent to a sanctuary. So I think 2 of them at least went to the Detroit Zoo for a while.
Just the most I want to get right now is like, I really want a millipede. But like, if 2020 and Tiger King taught me anything, it's that sometimes the law and the licensing for shit like that can be a little wiggly, depending on if you have some sort of business license, if you have like zoo handling experience, like depending on state lines, depending on counties, depending on this, that, and the other, and where they're being transported to. Some people, like, you can kind of get a hold of a big cat, which again is crazy because, dude, if you want like a hardcore animal, if you want something that looks like you can't fuck with it, we just warped wolves into so many different shapes. We got so many crazy ass dogs. Like, get a cane corso, no one will come near you.
You want a big dog? Start getting a mastiff.
Dude,
you don't need a wolf dog. I know they look cool as hell.
We shouldn't.
And here's the thing is, I am that person that I would love to have an animal that was, wild and exotic because they're cool as hell. But I'm not going to do it.
Just befriend a bird. I mean, I'm not a bird person.
Again,
but
like for
if you hang out
stuff,
if you hang out with like corvids, you can make crow friends.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not going to
hang out with pigeons.
They're not going to be in my house, but
Like in my early 20s, I loved the idea and like went down a rabbit hole of watching people try and domesticate foxes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Me and a friend from college, we had talked about how we were going to buy a house so we could have foxes.
Their little laughs are very cute.
They're very cute. They destroy
everything. And you just can't domesticate them.
Yeah.
Same with like
not
raccoons.
yet. Yeah, they have to be domesticated for so long.
Right.
Which I do know that there was a whole study of domesticating some foxes. I think it's through a whole actual place that has the credentials, but they're getting to a breed, but they have to have so many generations before they're actually domesticated.
Right.
Which is cool, but also we already have so many animals that are domesticated that need homes that now cannot survive in the wilderness. Just please take care of the pigeons. All right. Yeah. I get it. They're doing okay sometimes, but they're just cool little dudes. We've already domesticated them and then we threw them aside. And then how many times are there if you see stray cats and stuff, you have to get them neutered because, them living outside is just creating more and more of an issue for those cats and everything. And there's so many cats and dogs that need homes that we don't necessarily need to, domesticated in another another species. We have plenty of things that need love and care.
100%.
As much as I would love a giant wolf, I don't need one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird
offshoot.
But we were talking about something and it happened. And I guess we'll just probably cut it here because again, I don't really know. I don't really even know how we got on that. Anyways.
Snakes and does.
Snakes and does.
Sleeping bears.
You were talking about the alligator that was released.
Oh, God, it was completely my fault. Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh, that alligator. I hope he was taken home to somewhere. Yeah, so.
To heaven.
Probably.